and welcome to this Coach Dave Academy lap guide with me, William Chadwick, for the Porsche Cup on iRacing. It is week 11. We're here at Silverstone Grand Prix Legacy. So 2010 maybe was the last year this was used. I'm not quite sure, 2011. But it's an interesting track to have on the calendar. It's not something that you'd normally have. We're about to go to a hot lap and then a lap guide, and we'll talk you through some of the points of this classic track. Hello and welcome to the lap guide section. You've just seen an okay hot lap and you're about to have me go through what to do and why to do it, I guess. Here at Silverstone Legacy, or original Grand Prix, basically before they built the wing and they made it a better circuit, in my opinion. But I know my broadcast partner, or the person that's recording this, Mike, would not agree with me. However, we'll continue with the lap. So something that's very different to the normal Silverstone, you'll get caught out by this if you're used to running the normal Silverstone, is here, as you can see me like trimming these bollards and not knocking them over. Everyone knows that on the normal Silverstone you can run right up to the wall, you can just cut it. You can just cut the corner, right? Here it actually counts as a slowdown, so just be careful with that because you definitely can get a slowdown by cutting too much. I believe it's probably half a car because I remember doing it once and thinking, how did that even happen? Because I was so used to the original Silverstone. Half a car over the inside of these lines will get you an off track, and there's no rules to tell you to give you pointers. So we start the lap on our way in our beautiful Porsche Cup car. I'm very, very close to the edge here. That's almost a bit too close, really, but just make sure you're maximising the track. Nice little build up of the brake. Again, I talk about it every week. I'm sure people hate me for talking about it, but we go mountain brake shapes. Trying to not slide the car as much as possible really helps in this car massively. The tyre is very, very, very sensitive. I can't reiterate how much this tyre depends, especially over a race stint, on just not sliding at all, like not at all. And doing that will give you such a better tyre across the course of a stint. But anyway, down into Cops corner, I think it's Cops. I'm English, I really should know. Generally, just get a good exit here. The off-track is not going over the white lines. It's basically as soon as you start to hit this AstroTurf, which, unlike modern-day AstroTurf, is very slippy. So you don't want to touch it. So there's no way of getting an off-track here at this corner and, not losing loads of time. Into this next section, trim the grass on the entry is what I like to do, just to open up this next corner. And then here, it just seems to appear to be no off-tracks unless I think you hit the grass. I would have thought this would have been an off-track for sure, but it's definitely not. So I just cut all of this and set myself up for the next section. I like to jump onto this curb because it then allows me to set up the final section as we go on to the hanger straight a bit better. down a gear, nice bit of apex, and then just flat out pretty much on the exit there. Be careful of clipping the grass and running out, because it's much more traditional circuit. You do tend to find yourself, if you're going to go slightly over your track limits, you will suffer more than just getting off track. Down into Stowe, having to remember the names of the corners. Down into Stowe, again, similar brake shape to we normally use. I'm a little bit off the apex here, which isn't amazing. Ideally, you want to be a bit closer, not really riding the curb, because curbs here are like this and not as flat as the more modern day circuit. Exiting in third is completely fine in my opinion, and you can only use as much as this before you hit the grass on the exit, so no chance of getting an off track there. Down into the club section, this is where the wing would be if you're struggling to kind of memorize the where the old layout stop, where the current layout stops and the old layout starts. This is where the wing would be. So this is the traditional club section. I find that clipping a bit of the grass here is more than fine, and it enables you to just get a better line in general through this next section. Here is a much harder corner than it is on the current circuit, because it's just never ending really, and it just continues to go around. I'd advise that you use short shifting to your advantage here, because it'll just help you. And here on the exit as well, I'm pretty sure you can dip. As long as you're not dipping all four wheels over the edge of the curb, you can use this exit, and I'd encourage you to, because it minimizes wear, maximizes the speed you can carry. And then we head into the more traditional section. So from anyone this is where you'd normally go off for the current Grand Prix layout. You go right here now into farm and stuff, in the new layout area. But we're actually on our way into the old section. And if you've ever been to Silverstone in real life, you'll know that this section is now used for a lot of promotional stuff and like exhibition stuff, especially on the F1 weekends. Big straight line braking here. We build it up, peak nice and early. You can brake a lot later here than you think, and it's really important to carry the speed through this section. Something to note, harder to maybe see via the chase camera, but if we get, let me utilize maybe rear chase to show you. If you have a look here, apologies for some background noise, there's cars and stuff. Oh my word, it's because I've got the 10x key on. Okay, we're fine, we'll live. If you look here, it's really hard to see, but I definitely notice it when I'm in the car. You see that little lip there? Like a little grass lip up to this curb. Whether that's there in real life or not, I'm not sure. But the grass dips down, and you can definitely see it from this angle. You can see the grass dipping down and then rising up to this curb. If you dip into this grass, it's not going to cause you any off tracks. But what it will do is when you hit this bump here, it unsettles the car, and it can cause a lot of issues for you. So I'd recommend just skimming this bit and ignoring that, really. Here, I short shift very early just because we're at a reasonably low speed and I want to try and minimize wheel spin at the rear. I do this in the race just to save the tyre, so I short shift very early. And as you can see from the cockpit camera, you can see that it is a very early short shift, which just helps us protect those rear tyres. Under the old bridge that you often see drivers entering into the circuit over the top of this one, get on nicely onto this curb. Don't carry too much speed around this corner because you want to set yourselves up for the next section. I think on this lap, this is where my lap was slightly less good than it could be. I would personally preference getting across a bit more to the right and taking a little bit less speed through that right-hander. Get nicely onto this curb. Use the exit. Brake earlier here for the Luffield section, back where we enter the track that you know today, I guess. Brake earlier than you think. Get nicely onto the curb. And as you exit in second here, just make sure you straighten that exit up. You can shift up to third, maybe keep in second. I'm not too sure. What I do know is don't ride this curb. I did it and it was bad. But what I do know, second in the mid corner, third now. I think I've already gone third for the exit phase. Here in the car. No, sorry. Third here for the exit phase, 100% throttle. Open this exit up. Again, you can get massively over the white line and you're not in any risk of getting on off track. Not like the current Silverstone, which is quite vicious with the off tracks. And punch your way out. It's a shorter lap than we do these days, around about, 10 seconds? We did 49.2. I can definitely see in this current condition 48 being possible. And certainly I'd be aiming for that if you're you consider yourself to be a slightly higher skilled player. So aim for 48s in this condition, which is 2021. I just generated. I didn't do multiple generations, so maybe it's a little bit wrong. But 48s are definitely possible in this weather. Keep pushing for the week, and just remember the characteristics of this car, and you'll be successful here. Well, that is the lap guide then for week 11 here in the Porsche Cup on iRacing around Silverstone Grand Prix Legacy. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to keep the points in your head about how we kind of use the track limits, how crucially brutal this track can be with how much grass there is and how easy it is to step over the mark. Remember, description, link to the Discord, do come join, abuse me, whatever you want to do. I don't mind, just join the Discord. Subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed and you want to see future lap guides. We'll do them every week for several series. And also, like the video if you enjoyed it. It's massively appreciated. Any comments you put below, I'll try my best to answer, as I do every week. But more importantly, thank you for watching, and come back next week. Bye-bye.